Welcome back. This is Marc Rudov, branding advisor to CEOs and author of 3 books on branding. And, of course, my latest, Duped Again, Why Sophistry Works. It's all about why people lie and why people believe and accept lies. It's a great book, and I'm not just saying that because I wrote it. It really is. I delve into all of this, and I learned a lot in the process of writing it, and you will learn a lot in the process of reading it. Please get it today, dupedagain.com. And here's the QR code if you're too lazy to enter the URL into your browser. Today's topic: is there a liar in your life? Well, we know the answer to that. The answer is no. There are hundreds of liars in your life. Your children, your siblings, your parents, your friends, your coworkers. Almost everybody in the government is a liar. We see it every day, especially the liar in chief, who every now and then makes his way into the Oval Office. Speaking of lying, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, told a whopper 2 days ago. Today's April 24th, 2024. He posted this on Twitter 2 days ago on the 22nd. He said that Joe Biden, and here you can see it, Joe Biden is the best president we ever had. And he saved a post from Joe Biden on September 29th of 2020 when he said that Donald Trump is the worst president we ever had. I think that's a projection, Joe. Anyway, the farce is with you, Luke Skywalker. One of my favorite clips of all time from Seinfeld is this clip I'm going to show you with George Costanza and Jerry Seinfeld sitting in Monk's coffee shop. Nobody in Gen Zero has ever seen Seinfeld and knows nothing about it. But a lot of us who are older than that have seen it. Let me set it up for you. Jerry Seinfeld met this very pretty lady cop. He started dating her. She asked him if he had ever seen Beverly Hills 90210. He denied it, although he had watched it and was a fan of it. She didn't believe him. She wanted to put him on a polygraph. He agreed to that, but he was very nervous about it. So as he was sitting there with George in the coffee shop, he asked George how he can prepare for a polygraph, knowing that George is one of the most prodigious liars ever. And here was George's answer.
So, George, how do I beat this lie detector?
I'm sorry, Jerry, I can't help you.
Come on, you got the gift. You're the only one that can help me.
Jerry, I can't. It's like saying to Pavarotti, teach me to sing like you.
All right, well, I gotta go take this test. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Jerry, just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Now, George's answer, it's not a lie if you believe it, is a great setup for this segment because Joe Biden believes everything coming out of his mouth, and everything coming out of his mouth is a lie. A week ago, he was here in my hometown of Pittsburgh, and he was visiting the United Steelworkers. He started rambling on about his uncle, who allegedly was eaten by cannibals. Watch.
And my uncle, they called him Ambrose Brosi, they called him Bosie. My uncle Bosie was a hell of an athlete, they tell me, when he was a kid. And he became an Army Air Corps before the Air Force came along. He flew those single-engine planes as reconnaissance over war zones. He got shot down in New Guinea, and they never found the body because there were a lot of cannibals for real in that part of New Guinea.
This is a lie. The Pentagon said this never happened. But Joe believes it, so to him, it's not a lie. It's amazing how many people are still going to vote for this guy in November. It is utterly amazing to me. But people accept lies. And that's why I wrote my book. And that's why I hope you'll read it. Now, I want to show you this other clip from the clowns on MSNBC who are telling this lie that crime is down at the lowest point in 50 years. Big lie. Here's what's happening. Well, first of all, watch.
If you look at some of these exit polls, I mean, I live in Virginia. Immigration was the number one issue. Of course, I mean, again, these could change in Virginia.
Well, Virginia does have a border with West Virginia. Very contested area.
Build a wall. Like, what? I mean, when I was in New Hampshire, people were talking about the northern border as a threat. Because Trump has indoctrinated people with this fear of people who do not look like them being a threat to them.
But as you know, I mean, in every election cycle, particularly when there's a Democratic incumbent, we get reminded about the borders. And the borders become a thing again. And then
the only difference now is they dropped the every 4 years part. And now, I mean, all the programming about cities is the coded threat of crime and
well, meanwhile, on Earth One, the FBI reports that violent crime in America is at a 50-year low.
And migrant crime is not a thing.
And migrant crime is not a thing.
Okay, so what they said is that crime is at its lowest point in 50 years. That's a lie. Here's what's happening. The states and municipalities, in the name of wokeness, aren't reporting crimes anymore. Why? Because the majority of crimes are being committed by black people and brown people. Nobody wants to report that anymore in the blue precincts. So these statistics go unreported, and they're fudging the data. We all look around us and we see the crime. It's out of control. And they also said there's no such thing as migrant crime. I don't call them migrants. I don't call them immigrants. They are invaders and they are criminals. And they are committing crimes everywhere we look. But the clowns on MSNBC say that it isn't true. It's a farce. It's made up by the MAGA crowd. Why do they say this? Because their audience wants to believe it. It's not a lie if you believe it. And so they happily live in their little bubble and pretend that reality is not reality. And again, this is why I wrote my book. You might think you know everything about lying. Trust me, you don't. Read Duped Again, Why Sophistry Works. Go to dupedagain.com. Again, here's the QR code. If you're sitting there on your computer and you just want to scan it with your cell phone, that's fine. I don't care how you get there. I just care that you get there. Please read it. Please show it to your friends. Please encourage them to read it. Knowing about lying will change your life, because falling for a lie, being gullible and falling for a lie, can cost you a lot of money and a lot of heartache. Trust me. This is Marc Rudov at marcrudov.com. Until next time.